Guys, we're rolling 178. What up? Cheers, Ori. Yeah, man. So we skipped last week because I was in Austin strictly for we did an anniversary. It was my girls and I's anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you. We don't actually like. When do you actually have the anniversary? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're kind of just making it up, being like, well, it's around this time that
we pretty much did kind of the same thing at first, and then after we celebrated that around this kind of time, we kind of figured it out after a little
It's kind of the date when you first had sex, right?
The date where you just said, now I'm only having sex with you.
Copy that. And I think that's what we do. I think. Did you guys have that conversation of like, hey, I or she, one or the other goes, hey, I don't want you to be with anybody else. Is that the conversation?
It was somewhat like that. So I was dating her, and I just barely started dating her, like barely started taking an interest in her. Yeah. But I was on the playing field.
Taking an interest. I like that. That's a very grown-up thing to say. I mean, look, I'm proud of you, because usually on this podcast, you'd be like, that was the day I decided to bone. And taking an interest. I like that. No, it's good.
And but I was
decided to court. We're courting.
I was making a huge mistake at that same time, because I was trying to date this other chick that was she's a cop, and
oh shit.
Yeah, she was in was it Orange
County? Good hookup.
Orange County or LA County?
Yeah,
one of the two. And I just kept getting advice from everybody like, dude, no, I know who you are.
Yeah.
Don't try to date a cop. She's going to arrest you. And yeah, sure as shit, man, took her back to my house, and she's like, what the fuck is this? You can't have that. That's a felony.
Oh, come on, lady.
Yeah, that kind of shit.
Loosen up.
You know, so long story short, the story about this gets back to my old lady, because she's friends with a lot of people that I was friends with at the same time. She's like, the fuck, you're still going on dates? And I was like, oh. Well, I didn't know you were actually, like, taking me serious.
That's a problem?
Yeah. And she's like, well, yeah, I thought you were taking me serious, too. And I was like, oh, well, my bad. Because from what I heard from one of my friends who was fucking with me, too, that, you know, he's seen you fucking, you know, out with other dudes and shit. And she's like, no, he's fucking with you. Yeah, I would tell you. And you can ask anybody else. He's the only one that's going to lie to you. Huh. And I was like, oh, okay, well. All right.
That's kind of who said that? That's kind of a shitty thing to do, to be like.
He's still one of my good friends. Yeah.
Like I've seen her with other dudes.
Yeah,
and that's not true.
No, but
why would he say that? That's kind of a shitty thing to do.
He was a kid, you know. He's a little kid, dude. I would say he's probably what, 10 years younger than me.
Okay.
You know, he just wanted to see if we were actually serious about each other, would that fuck it up? Like, because that shouldn't fuck it up. We could just talk to each other.
I think that's a shitty thing to do as a friend. I don't think that's good.
It is. I didn't think it was good neither, but it almost fucked up a lot of things.
But that's an interesting thing, because they could be wrong too, and it could start a whole thing. But should you tell your friend? They'd be like, oh shit, I saw. You know, luckily, what's cool is I do got some good friends. My old boy Alex, that used to live next door to me, he saw Jenna at the downtown at the farmers market with a guy who I know. He's a photographer, and they're buddies. They're hanging out. It's fine, and me and him are buddies too. We're fine. But anyways, Alex goes, oh shit! He just saw him walk by, so he started following him. He was like, make sure
fuck is going on.
Yeah,
here?
He's like, Jenna better not be fucking up my boy Ian. And then then he was like, you know what? I better move in, right? So he was like, hey, Jen. She's like, oh, hey, this is my friend Robert. And then Alex was like, do you know Robert? I go, yeah, they're over at. Alex was like, oh, okay, cool. He was like, I want to make sure she's not trying to, stepping out on my boy.
So I mean, in my old age, maybe that's kind of the same thing that happened with my friend. Because seriously, it really didn't cause any rifts or anything like that.
I mean, it didn't. But that is I don't like it. I think that's a shitty thing to do. Well, as a friend, there's better ways to fuck with somebody.
There was the time in the beginning when we actually we became fucking something, you know, and we were dating and shit. That there was this dude that he was just one of those dudes that was just trying to hang around, and I know he was trying to smash. He was like, "Oh, I'm that guy in the side and this and that."
I hate those guys.
And I had to go and punk his ass. Yeah. Dude. And it was funny because he's security at this place. You know, he's like the lead security guy. He's the cooler of the bouncers and shit at this joint. And I go and punk him, and the old lady starts getting mad at me. She's like, You don't have to do that. It's not like that. And I was like, maybe you don't see it, but I see it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. There's a Weasley thing that guys do. Even your friends, and sometimes here's what I figured out. I'm gonna say even your friends, and some of your friends that don't really get a lot of female attention, and it's kind of a desperate move on there, and just because they just want the attention, and he knows your ex, like say if you broke up or something,
Yeah.
right? Like we're on the same page. And it's kind of a Weasley thing, but I know it's also kind of a losery thing. And even if they're your buddies, I know it's a problem. But I will let you go if you start doing that shit with my exes. You start sliding in. I will let you go as a friend. But
I used to feel like that when I was a kid, but as I've gotten older, I'm like, hey, once I'm done with them, we're done.
Yeah.
You know, why look at the past anyway?
Yeah, I mean, that is yes and no. Yes and no, man. I would have to say how the breakup happened and how close you are with the friend, but I don't like it. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just a Weasley move.
Well, I could say names, or I could just leave the names completely out, but they're people that we both know when I tell this story. So years after me and said girl fucking broke up and shit, I mean years, talking like 5.
Hope it wasn't me on accident, was it?
No.
Okay.
No, it was like 5-6 years after.
Was I drunk one time and just like, it's cool?
No, no, this is going to go the complete opposite way you're thinking it is. So after about 5-6 years, I still chat with the chick, you know, we're still cool.
Yeah,
and
you don't have to
everything.
say the name. You could say it off mic.
And she tells me, hey, you know, this one friend that you got, I've always had the hots for him. And I was like, yeah, I knew it back then too. That's fine. And I was like,
yeah.
She's like, can you tell him, you know, would you get mad? And I was like, why would I get mad? I don't even have feelings for you like that anymore.
Okay. So
I tell our homie, and guess what the first thing the homie says? The same thing we used to. Nah, man, that's your ex, dude. You know, I can't do anything
no,
like,
right.
And I was like, dude, but she's hot. I mean, fucking, dude, smash. She wants to smash.
Yeah.
Just fucking go smash. What the fuck do I care, dude?
Right. Okay.
But then again, this was one of the girls that I cheated on all kinds of.
Right. Now,
all kinds of.
Now, yeah, like if I see, only recently in my life have I been with girls that you know, I'm like, look, we lived together. We were, you know what I mean? Like this was a whole thing. I'm not saying some chick that you don't. I've dated a ton of exes. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
My friends can smash all day, and I don't think twice. I don't
Same
care.
here.
You're a nothing. But what I'm saying is like, let's say ex-wife. Right? Let's say an ex-wife. Let's really.
Well, then I'm no longer your friend.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I understand you're not together anymore, but isn't there a lot of women in the world? Why do you have to go after mine?
There is, and because I've got that kind of relationship with my ex-wife to where I don't want to see you again. So if one of my friends was like, hey, I'm dating your ex-wife, and be like, sayonara, dude.
Right.
Like, nice knowing you.
Right. Yeah. My ex, a while back, we broke up. We actually broke up twice. The first time we broke up, man, boy, did a lot of other guys in bands and all these guys that I thought were like my boys and shit were really hitting her up. And we were still cool on the breakup. So she would tell me, she'd be like, guess who? I go, you fucking kidding me? Yeah. And guess what? I said goodbye, right?
Yep.
Because it's slimy. You're slimy. And I understand you're also desperate. And she's nice to you and you know each other. But it was definitely using me as like, oh, you could do better, Ian. By the way, no, she can't. And and she's still not.
Right.
But but what I'm saying is like
she's living in her own personal hell.
Yeah.
No.
But I'm just saying it's like it's a slimy thing to do. Like guys don't do it, man. There's a million girls.
On that angle, no. There's always and if you are thinking about that,
it's slimy, dude.
This is just a tidbit of advice to a guy that's fucking been around a lot of situations in life. If you do feel like that's the girl that you want to go after, just hold out for a little bit, and she's gonna have a hotter cousin.
Yeah,
Trust me. It always works.
It's
out
not
like
about that with these slimy dudes. I know what it is. It's it's a desperation, and they don't really get a lot of female attention.
That's most of it, but they're
I know it is, and the touch, and they're friendly, and it's a thing, and it's maybe even a little taboo, which makes it hot. You know what I mean?
Well, that taboo does have to.
Taboo has something to do with it.
Has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But yeah, don't do it. And guys, it won't. You know, after you blow a load, it doesn't feel good after. You know, now you know
you're gonna hate yourself.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate her. You're gonna hate everything about the situation.
It's not fucking worth it.
And then you got a bastard child. Whoops.
There's been a lot of those where it's like this is a true story. My ex-coworker, that when I used to work for my dad, his wife banged his lawyer. Whoa. And you go, well, that's just in the movies. It's real. Yeah. It happened.
Oh, yeah.
And it is mind-blowing how you're just like, just it's crazy betrayal. Now, I guess you're a lawyer. Like, what do you care? You're already slimy,
you're
right?
Soulless
You're
anyway,
soulless
dude.
anyways.
You fucking lie for a living, dude.
Yeah.
Sell your soul daily for the fucking highest bidder.
Yeah, who cares? But I've said this to my friends' girlfriends and wives and everything, where it's like, yeah, we're friends until you break up with my friend, and then I will no longer talk to you ever again. Like, yep. You're not your friend through friend adjacent
through an acquaintance.
Yeah, you're adjacent friend. Mm-hmm. So if I like you, you're awesome. I love you. The moment you guys break up, I won't be returning any of your phone calls.
Well, that's like the ex-wife's family, her whole family. Dude, there's people in her family that love me, and I love the fuck out of them. But once we split up, done, son.
I had to say that too with the ex. I had to say it. I go, respectfully, you're cool, but we're done. We're done with everything.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was, and they're even like, the father.
They're like, what did I do? You're like, nah, it's just.
Well, I know you also. The family's desperate for friends and good guys or whatever, and I was a good dude, and I was a good friend to have. We can laugh, we can ball bust, and it was like, well, can I still come by and see your dogs? I was like, that's a hell no.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Mm-mm. No, this is all dead to you guys now.
Yeah.
Okay? It's just like, you just act like I died.
Yeah.
Just act like I don't exist.
Yeah, because I had one ex-girlfriend that, years later on down the road.
You pop that for me?
Yeah. Seen her again, and she was like, hey, my dad talks about you quite often. I was like, what the fuck's he up to? Let me go see,
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things is just I understand people are good friends. Like, I've had this conversation with my girl many times because her and her ex's family were very close, and it is odd because they're like, I love you so much. Why now? Like the family's heartbroken.
Yeah. Yeah, they're more broken up over it than the guy is.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've never experienced that because my family don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, I've never had my mother or father give two shits if I break up or not. I don't care.
I've had it with one, and then what was funny is because I'm such a nice guy, I wanted to keep that image of her being the good person to me just being the drunk asshole that everybody knows me for. I'm like, fuck it, I've already got that reputation. I'll just keep it. After a long story was told, she thought she cheated on me, but I cheated on her first. So.
Are you saying that to make yourself feel good?
No, I'm saying that because that's what happened.
Oh, okay. You know that? You know that for a fact?
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling. I think a lot of us don't know when we're getting cheated on.
Because she already got the upper hand before I got the upper hand?
See, that's very immature for you to say that.
Damn it, dude.
That's very immature for you to say upper hand in doing that.
In the whole cheating
life? In the whole cheating life. It does make you feel better, though, because...
Well, dude, not only did it make me feel better, but when I told her about it, and I told her it was with one of her friends, she was like, "Oh, are you fucking serious?" And I was like, "Hey, you said you wanted to get married and shit, gave me a wedding ring, like trying to convince me, and then, a couple of weeks later was like, oh, sorry, I have to cheat on you."
Chicks' friends are scandalous as hell. Like, we know some slimy, I guess we've had some slimy friends in the past, maybe,
Yep.
But not like
girls, dude.
They will fuck over any one of their friends for a guy.
They'll fuck your dad, bro.
They don't give a they are. I'm telling you, it's been almost 100% of girls that I've dated, their best friend has tried to get on me the moment they break up. Mm-hmm. It's almost every time. They're best. I love her. We're like sisters. The moment we break up, it's like, fuck that bitch, dude.
She's like, I've been telling her the whole time. She hadn't been sucking your dick right and shit.
And I understand because friendship is different for ladies too. It's definitely it's a different thing. I get it. It is definitely more important to find a husband and a family and shit like that. I get it. That makes sense because that makes sense. For a lot of men, it is, it's friendship. It's a different friends. Like, you ever heard I don't know if your chick does that or any chick, but where they'll go, they just met a girl like a week ago, and they're like, we're best friends. We're going to, like they're constantly talking about how they're best friends and shit. Like, you just met her.
Yeah. You don't even know how awful they could be yet.
You just met her. Yeah. And I go, just give it another week.
Yeah,
I'm always negative. I'm like, you bitches don't know what it is.
but that's because we've had friendships that have lasted fucking since we were
We've had friends, yeah, like
so we know what real
over
friendship
20
is.
years, yeah.
You can't just meet a person and be like, we're so the same.
Well, I
you guys
actually-
both like purple? Ooh, I couldn't have guessed that.
I usually don't consider you a friend until you've put in 15 years with me. You're an acquaintance. You're an acquaintance I like. Yeah.
You're around.
But if you get hit by a car, I don't care that much.
I was just thinking about
People watching that like, fuck,
I
dude.
was just thinking about the biker lifestyle. Like, there's hangarounds. Then you can be a prospect where you really get fucked with, and then you're a patch. Once you're a patch.
No, but truly, when the person I consider a friend is you have to be with me during the bad times. Be with me when, like, where I'm not doing well, or I'm being a real asshole, being shitty, and you didn't leave me, right? Mm-hmm. It's when everything's good, kicking ass in business, blah blah blah, and then one little thing drops off, and all of a sudden, all of a sudden I'm a problem.
Yeah.
Also, a guy can't throw shit through a window sometimes. Take it easy.
Can't hear the glorious sound of smashing glass?
Yeah.
Who the fuck doesn't like that? You're fucking weird.
So
if
I
you don't
look
like
at
that
it. You
sound.
got to be with me during the bad times.
Hell yeah.
And then if you're still with me when I'm not being good,
Yeah.
no matter what it is, attitude wise, financially, because I even see that financially. You know what I mean? I notice, when sorry, your boy, I can't really, I ain't got the cash. You're falling off a little bit.
I've had
You start to see it.
little small groups of friends fall off on different angles like that. And the financial one really sucks because you're like, really? You know why I'm broke right now? Because I was paying for all your fucking shit while we were fucking hanging out. Now that I need to fucking get it on the backside, you can't even hook a brother up, dude. What the fuck?
Well, they say that a lot, with like celebrities, and entourages, where it's like
fucking
they'll
mosquitoes.
They'll do anything. All of a sudden, some of these celebrities will fall off, or like an athlete, specifically. And all of a sudden, he's like, "Look, I got to start saving some cash." All of a sudden, no one's there to help you out. No one's there to even hang with you.
You mean I can't get my brand new J's and my fucking Lamborghini that you were gonna give me?
Yeah. So I mean, you do see fair weather friends, and especially like in the playing in bands and playing shows. It's like it is funny when like just shows are going great, killing it. All of a sudden, things aren't going that well. Wow, people seem to fall off very, very fast.
Have one or two bad shows, and
have
they're
a
like,
few bad shows.
Now I'm reevaluating my life. You're like, really?
Like, yeah.
You fucking care what people think? That's crazy.
Well, I think in that sort of thing, like I'm conditioned on the other way. I only know bad shows, so it's like, so when they're good, I'm like, that's cool.
Hell yeah,
yeah,
about time.
Yeah, nice. About fucking time.
This is what it's like at the top.
Yeah. But it doesn't always last. I mean, you hear even the bigger guys, like you've heard, that kind of thing never ends, man. Where like, let's just say, fucking Aerosmith. Let's just talk about Aerosmith. It isn't always, things go shitty.
Hey, they're retiring. You know that, right?
I mean, they're in their 70s, man.
70s, dude. And then my mom asked me about that the other day. She was like, "Did you hear Aerosmith's retiring?" I was like, "Eh." She's like, "Really? You don't like Aerosmith?" And I was like, "Mom, every song that I like from them has been played out so many fucking times. I mean, I can't stand it."
You got to say they're good though. Like it's one of those things where it's like
I know they're good.
Where it's like, I'll pass.
Yeah.
But I know you guys kick ass. We know that.
I know they're good.
And how long they've been around and been doing it.
But good hasn't always been my thing too. I mean, there's different kinds of good that I like in my opinion. Like everybody always tries to tell me, "Oh, the Misfits, what a terrible band."
Who says that? I will fucking stab them, dude.
A lot of people will say that because they talk about the sound quality. This is the 80s.
Which makes it better, in my opinion.
This is the 80s. This is fucking.
I'm starting to enjoy bad sound
poor
quality.
kids. Yeah. This is poor kids recording their own shit. Fuck off.
And they have to get it done and put it out in a week.
Right.
There's no like.
That was a hustle.
Yeah. It was a major hustle. Bad Brains and Misfits and these guys. Dude. They had to get their album done today.
Yep.
That was it. Or
or you're finished. Yeah.
Or you're finished. Yep. Like Earth AD. I mean, that shit was done in like I think in an apartment and like. And it was done in
glorious, dude. Glorious to me.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, musicians-wise, is the only people I've heard this from. Yeah, and you have too, or they're like, "God, what a terrible band." I'm like, But the fucking voice.
I haven't heard that about the Misfits.
And yeah, you have. We did a podcast with Giz when he was talking shit about his fucking.
He was?
Yeah.
I must have put that out of my head.
You did because
Giz has a Misfit patch on his back on it, doesn't he? Right? Am I missing something?
Dude, I believe so.
Hey, Giz, hit me up on that one.
But yeah, I remember him because then I brought in the Social D thing, and he was like, "Oh, you just like terrible bands," and I was like, "Well, says the guy wearing a Coheed and Cambria fucking shirt." You know,
He was wearing a Coheed and Cambria shirt. I hate Coheed and Cambria.
So do I.
Boy, did I miss all that? I was too busy looking at my computer, brother.
Oh well, yeah, that was because everything, and we had him and his buddy too. I forget.
Yeah. Danny.
Yeah, cool guys. So we just went all around the table with music and shit, and that was. It was good. I like to hear other people's take on the stuff I like.
But it's like other people's take, but also I don't know if sometimes they're just trying to push buttons because they see a Misfit tattoo and a Social D tattoo, maybe,
and a Misfit tattoo.
And a Misfit, yeah, maybe it was kind of like, because I'll do that sometimes too. Yeah, just be like, yeah.
And it didn't push my buttons at all. I was like, actually, we should probably jam.
Well, it does. It blows my mind sometimes when someone's like. Or just anybody that likes rock music is like, I don't like the Ramones. And I'm like, well, okay, so you don't bump them every day, but you're saying you hate the Ramones? How do you hate the Ramones? I don't see how that's possible.
That doesn't comprehend.
Yeah.
But then again, when I was a kid, when I was fucking, I would say early teens, like 13, 14, I didn't like the Ramones because I felt like they were kind of corny.
Blitzkrieg Bop.
Yeah, I felt like they were kind of corny because I was more like Sex Pistols. But then the more songs that I got a hold of with the Ramones, the more I was like,
there's so many.
They're just more fun.
Yeah,
they're more fun, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I like to listen to Sex Pistols when I'm kind of in an agile mood.
You forget how good the Sex Pistols are if you don't listen to a while.
Right. Yeah.
I put on Nevermind the Bullocks, dude. I was like, this is incredible rock and roll.
It is. But
Steve Jones, man.
But
that guitar riffs, yeah.
It is that kind of music that does rile up my soul too, which I don't like. I don't like to be riled up too much. Because
what do you mean?
Like, dude, when you start really listening to their lyrics.
Oh, like politically? Yeah. It starts to get you fired up?
And comparing it to what we're dealing with now.
I say you got to, old Johnny Rotten, a little bit on our side at the moment.
Well, he is. But what I'm saying is, like, it starts to rile you up again. It starts to be like.
See, I do believe, though, you got to look at the times, you know what I mean? Like, even some of the stuff that I was writing, but way back, times are different.
Yep.
Your feelings you're a kid.
Definitely.
You're a kid, too. If I feel you're writing real, then I'll give you a pass. If you really believe that, okay. Even if I don't.
Which is great, because you know that they did. I mean, completely.
So I'm saying, but it's like, I do, it's just, if I feel it's bullshit, then I'm out.
Yeah, it's not the bullshit factor.
Yeah.
It's the, what I use it for sometimes. So I use the Sex Pistols a lot just to piss people off. Like when that whole abortion thing came out, I was playing that fucking song. It's just an abortion, fucking. Oh,
are they actually talking about abortions? Or are they talking about other shit? Abortion could mean a lot of other things.
It doesn't matter. Well, she was a girl from Birmingham.
Like
she had an abortion.
Okay.
That's the one I'm talking about. So when that was like politically, a thing that people would talk about and get fired up one way or another, I would just play the song and just say, yeah, abortion sucks. But I don't care one way or another how you people are going to feel. I just hope it pisses you off.
Right.
That you hear me playing a song that
which
just
the
keeps
word abortion is definitely it's a word that sparks a trigger for sure.
It does.
Which Sex Pistols were definitely going for.
And that's what I was after. And then after I was doing that for a little while, I'm like, man, why am I still this little angry kid that just wants to go around and poke at people?
I think that's why if you weren't, you probably wouldn't be listening to punk rock either.
Yep.
I do believe that is why we got into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's just because of that, G.G. Allen. I mean, if G.G. Allen was alive,
if he didn't poke the tiger, I don't know who fucking didn't, dude.
Don't you always wonder though if G.G. Allen was alive or guys like G.G. Allen, would they kneel to what's going on right now? Would they? You'd like to say no, but would they? You know what I mean? Because it's a powerful thing that's happening.
Gigi is one of his own that would not. Yeah. Because he was on the run most of the time they were playing music. He was trying to avoid getting locked back up because he bounced on his fucking bail.
I mean, I guess he wasn't long for this world, anyways. He
was
was made to
just fuck shit up and
die
be
young,
covered in shit.
live fast, die young. He was a real live fast, die young fella.
He was,
like
dude.
people like to say, live fast, die young, but that's a real thing. What you showing me here? What do we got?
The picture that I got from the Guttermouth show of my son, the
Punk rock,
shirt that he wanted.
Loud, fast, deliberately offensive style of rock music. I love that. What's the shirt?
Guttermouth on the front.
Oh, it's a Guttermouth shirt?
Yep. Yeah, and of course...
How were they? Was Guttermouth good?
Oh, dude, awesome.
They're still rocking.
Dude.
Will they stop playing new shit, though?
They didn't. They
played a lot of shit off of Teriyaki Moto and everything?
They played stuff off Teriyaki Moto, Musical Monkey.
Musical Monkey's a real one.
What was the Friendly People? Fuck, man. You name it, dude. I mean, everything that I wanted to hear. And it seems like, you ever feel like that singer knows your fucking mentality, like what you want to hear, and then all of a sudden you go there and it's back-to-back everything you want to hear?
It is weird that when I can call the set list, it's fun to try to call it in your head or whatever,
dude, and
then you're like, dude, how did I know?
I smoothly did. And even my daughters are fucking like, how in the hell did you know? Did he talk to you before the show? And I'm like, no, you've been here with me the whole fucking time. Yeah. But it was fucking great, dude. It was great.
Speaking of great music, look at that dumb cover of Danzig's nipples. His hairy chest and nipples. Chest. What is? I gotta wonder about Danzig sometimes, though. It's like he's awesome. It only works with Danzig, but I'm just saying.
And at that time.
And at the time, right, again, that's another thing at that time.
Yep.
Like She Rides, the music video She Rides.
Yeah, we talked about that flat ass.
That would not work now.
No.
If he put that out now, everyone would be like, "What?
Why is this girl shaking her bones? We want to see some ass."
Not only shaking the bones, the whole music video is silly. It's just a camera, and they're just doing cheesy bullshit.
Hey, but you know, people were fiending so much for fucking Danzig because it went from Misfits to Sam Hain.
Yeah.
So they got a little taste of the Misfits with Sam Hain and then Danzig. So everybody was basically waiting for a little bit more Misfits coming out of Danzig, which never happened.
There you go, Guttermouth.
Hell yeah.
How about this album? This is when this album came out, gorgeous.
Hell yeah. The most offensive fucking shit that you can see and hear.
Man, it's so funny, too, when you listen to Guttermouth. Did he still do stupid faggot rollerbladers?
Yes.
Because it's funny because nobody rollerblades. So it's like, nobody knows the clash between skateboarders and rollerbladers and
from
stuff.
back then.
Yeah.
But that was one of the songs I played for my boy, and he just couldn't stop laughing.
Every time he says "faggot," your boy. Yeah. I like how your son laughs too. Your son goes like this. He goes, or well, I'm trying to do it, but it's like a try not to.
Yeah,
laugh,
he's trying to hold it in. Like I don't want you to see me laugh, but
yeah,
fuck.
Because sometimes when he'll sit over there and we're podcasting, and then we'll say so. I look over and he goes. Your boy's over there dying because we said fart or something.
but I told him when I first started playing him Guttermouth, I'm like, I'm just going to tell you, and I'm going to warn you. This guy uses cuss words like I use verbs, nouns, adjectives, and fucking pronouns. All right? This dude fucking, he's mastered the swear word to where it's funny as fuck.
Yeah.
And I was like, but if you ever start speaking like him, you're not going to be listening to this shit anymore. You're not going to be playing fucking Grand Theft Auto, all right?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of that. It was like, just some offensive shit, which nowadays is very funny to listen to. But back then, it was kind of just what it was, right? That was punk rock music. But still, nothing turned out to be Guttermouth.
No.
They're
on their own
Mark
level.
is on his own thing.
Yep.
It's goofy. And
fun.
It's goofy and fun, but still fucking
still
1, 2, 3,
badass.
slam. And it was about mosh pits and fucking. It really was one on its own.
Yep.
It's too bad. Like, what if they became famous? It's too late now. But I'm just saying, like,
which is funny that you say that because in my mind's eye, they've always been famous. And I know they're not, fucking selling out stadiums and shit like that, but they've always been famous to me.
Yeah, I mean, there's levels of fame. Like if we just talk about, let's just say punk rock fame, right? Mm-hmm. So you got Guttermouth, then you got then it gets up. Then another level would be Rancid, right? And then another level is Green Day, right? It's a wide cat. We're giving punk rock a wide category.
Let's scratch out Green Day and let's put Bad Religion.
No, Bad Religion. Bad Religion's up kind of in the same as Rancid, I would say. in fame. Actually, I would say Rancid is more fame-is.
Not in my mind.
No?
In my mind, Bad Religion would be more famous.
Or Social Distortion.
Social Distortion would be more famous than both of them.
There we go. Okay, we'll say that one. Yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, what if a music like this is at the height of Social Distortion? You know what I mean? That would be very interesting.
Well, I think a lot of people wouldn't know how to understand the humor
and
just realize that he's just talking shit and having fun. They would actually try to take it to the head.
Yeah.
You know, and
see, I think that's why, like, to be at that Social Distortion level, you know, he sings about love, and which is, I love it. You know, you can't, it's not get any better than Social D.
Nope.
But what I'm saying is that it'd be interesting to see if this became
Social D level.
This became ultimate like at the pop level almost. Wouldn't that be crazy?
You just see a bus driving by with this fucking logo coming out there.
But if Mark became a pop star, wouldn't that be fucking crazy?
It would be great, dude, because he'd just destroy it all.
He would fuck it up. He would fuck it up. I would also like to know why. I'd like to know some of the politics or the logistics is why Guttermouth isn't on Epitaph anymore, and I'd love to know why they're not touring with everybody like they used to. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I'd love to know why. You know, and maybe, like what I've come to find a lot of time, it has to do with they're harder to work with.
Yeah. Well,
they have other jobs, other families, other things like that.
I've seen the band members change multiple times except for Mark.
That has a lot to do with it too. You do notice a lot of these really successful bands that we like, they've stayed together forever.
Yep.
They've also probably had some better breaks, and they probably had a better understanding, meaning like family, things like that, and going. Some of like a Dropkick Murphys, I know, like an Al Barr, but Al Barr, Al Barr dropped everything, but he always wanted to be a musician. Anyways, what I'm saying is that
but he dropped it for family.
But this is a kind of a different one. Al Barr's not on tour right now because of his mother. He's got to handle his mother. His mother's on the way out. But what I'm saying is, like, bands do have these discussions. And I know Dropkick Murphys did. Goes, look, well, we're now making money. We're going to treat this like this is our job,
our business.
This is our business. So we all got to be here on time, and so they're very businesslike in it. And sometimes people see it that way and go, this is my job, and then they got to tell their family, sorry, baby, I got to be on tour for, I got to go on tour
6 months.
I got to go on tour for 6 months, and that can be very difficult for a family. Especially for a punk band, because a punk band usually does not make enough to bring the whole family with them.
Hell no. Nowhere close.
Like big bands, when they're making a ton, they can do that, right? They're able to bring their family with them, and that makes things easier.
But going back to Green Day, I think that's why Green Day's drummer has his own trailer, because I think he does that. And he drives this shit himself, which, I mean, imagine going from... you'd have to plan your shows accordingly. Because especially if you're doing, like, the tour of the U.S. and shit. Just say the U.S. by itself.
Yeah.
Dude, dragging that trailer around is going to be expensive, bro. Most of the money you make on that tour is going to go to that gas, the fucking, all that shit.
Right. But it does make it, if I was able to go on, because that's the worst part about being on the road, is I can't have my fucking people with me.
That is the worst
mostly
part.
Me with my dogs, but I can't. Like, if I can take them everywhere, then it
wouldn't be a problem.
I don't give a fuck. Yeah. And if
step into one show to the next, fuck it.
One show to the next, and we sightsee through the whole day. It's cool, man. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see if in a bizarro world, if like a Guttermouth became as big as fucking Beyonce or something.
Well, what was great too is another one that I've been playing a lot lately before the show and shit, because once the show's gonna happen, you play the band for like a week before it comes to the show and shit. You're going through all your favorites and then stuff you haven't heard and shit. So I was forgetting about some of my old favorites. If I lived in a perfect world, dude. Once I heard that, I was like, oh hell yeah. Nacho cheese and anarchy. Boy, that sure sounds good to me. Every kind of drugs free is the new America. I was like, dude. Here,
let's play that game. Say drugs are free and clean. clean meaning they're straight from where they're supposed to be. Mm-hmm. What do you think would happen to the populace? Let's just say in America.
There would be a few overdoses, but not like there is right now.
I mean, there's overdoses now, right?
Yeah, but not like there is, because if people knew what they were taking, say 50 milligrams of such and such, they would know how to regulate it. Some are going to fuck it up anyway and kill themselves, but there wouldn't be as many deaths.
Like, I'm very curious to see what would happen, like, if drugs were legal. I'm very curious.
It'd be like Amsterdam, dude.
I mean, would it clean up? Would it be better? Would it?
It would get worse before it'd clean up.
Yeah,
it would get worse.
People that normally wouldn't be addicted to drugs, maybe they would be.
Yeah, because and think about that. When you take away the taboo and the stigma of most things, people lose interest. A lot of people just want to break the rules because there's fucking rules there to be broken.
Right.
You take away that borderline, they're gonna say, "Oh, either I can just turn my life into Nikki Sixx, fucking overdose fucking 3 times in a fucking day and shit, or I can just continue on with my life and not care about it."
Well, it's like weed. Weed's legal now, so it's nothing. Everybody smokes weed now, right?
Yep.
But just watch a movie or something, where it's like, or like watch like Blow or something, right? When he gets arrested with pot, and they're having a.
What'd I do, babe? I crossed an imaginary line. I mean,
with some plants.
With some plants.
Yeah. And then they got the perfect judge for that movie. She looks like such a bitch, right?
She looks like the Karen that they named the name after.
She looks like I've seen her.
Unfortunately, you did cross the line.
She's snarky.
Oh,
right?
dude,
Like she's putting you in fucking prison.
Just want to hook her nose.
Yeah, you just want to smash her, dude. But you forget because it's so legal now, and then you watch movies where it's like, oh, they got this whole drug ring for just slanging this plant.
Fucking plants, dude.
Right?
It didn't do shit to it, and just grew it out of the ground.
But okay, it's just a plant, but also so is cocaine.
One of my favorites.
Right.
Yeah, you're not converting me.
Opium.
Yeah, another one of my favorites.
Right, and I'd love to see, and then those I go on those rants a lot. Anyways, like what's the difference between that and the pharmaceuticals? It would just be cleaner.
I think it would be a lot cleaner. I mean, think about it. There's tribes that the medicine man, that's what he has.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he has. Oh, you're fucking, you're feeling a lot of pain, but let's numb you up.
Yeah, smoke this opium.
Yeah, exactly.
Pure opium. Mm-hmm. Straight from the flower.
And you're going to shut the fuck up for like 5-6 hours. And then when you come back, you're going to say, hey, doc, that felt really good. Can I get a little lower dose? Because now I don't need to feel that good for that long.
I know a guy that he has chronic neuropathy. You know what neuropathy is?
No.
Is your nerves go dead. So you start going numb. You can't feel your feet on the ground.
Oh, that sucks.
But not only that, I guess there is excruciating pain with neuropathy.
Ugh.
There's just, and you go, well, you're going numb. Why is there pain? I don't know. Apparently the pain is crazy. So he's on.
Probably on the joints and such. Then,
yeah, it's just crazy. And he's on all the medication. He's even got a nerve blocker installed in his spine.
Oh, fuck.
Because the pain is just, it's unbearable.
Shit.
And so it still doesn't work. He's still in pain all the time. And now, of course, he's on all the pills, and it's a disaster. And he can't.
It's just destroying his body.
He can't use the bathroom. It's a disaster.
Oh, yeah.
So he went to the Philippines. And
went to PI?
He went to the Philippines and went to an opium den. And he goes, even after that, my pain went away. Smoking pure opium, he goes, my pain went away. He's like, it went away for like weeks. And then it comes back, but then, so he was like, this is obviously these
all
pills
the shit they're filling us with is full of shit. We've known that for years.
We know it's, and there's nothing we can do. It's crazy.
No, according to their laws, there's nothing we can do, but there is alternatives.
There's definitely everything. Alternatives. Grow your own shit.
And I have seen some funguses, some mushrooms that they've been researching that are like the woodland fucking painkiller.
The woodland painkiller. Never heard of that.
Check it out.
Oh yeah,
check it out.
It's called the woodland pain. Don't let me forget about that.
Gotcha.
And that's just a mushroom that is where?
It's a mushroom that's it's really not over towards the fucking West Coast or the East Coast. It's more Central America. But yeah, it grows fucking, dude, all over the fucking place.
Huh.
And hey, there's no research into that yet, but dudes that have been swearing by it for years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, there is. It's I'll go on for days about how the pharmaceuticals and everything is just it's bullshit.
I know, so will I. Because,
it's bullshit, man.
Because my body's still in pain.
And
because you know.
But not only that though. Like if anyone's had pure fucking opium, right, and then had an OxyContin, right, the pure opium is there's less side effects. It's all that. So what does that mean? What does that mean that there's less side effects from getting it pure?
That means that your government has lied to you and has told you that you need to take this form of the same thing that I want you to take. Otherwise, you're breaking the law and I'm putting you in fucking jail.
You're breaking the law. Just think about that. If you really think about it, like let's take, because we've all been brainwashed
and we have no freedom of choices.
We've all been brainwashed and our parents have definitely been brainwashed as far as like drug use and what they mean and what it is, right? Because it's fun when I have this conversation. When I go, I know you're against heroin, but you guys are taking OxyContin for your pain, right? Or you're taking Vicodins. That's heroin, guys. That's heroin. It's just not
synthetic.
It's just not shot in your vein intravenously through someone off the street.
And it's not the natural form of it neither. It's synthetic. It's the worst form that's for your body.
So. But like it's watching people try to bring in this knowledge that I'm giving them is like, hey, Vicodin and Percocets and OxyContin is heroin. The only difference is it's in a pill form made by them, and there's heroin's on the street and made full of it's garbage in there too.
Yep.
Right, worse garbage, and that's not good. But the point is, just change the names, take the names off it. Right
there we go.
Just call this
stigma off it.
This is street stuff, and this is pharmacy stuff, right?
Well, how about we make the heroin legal and we call that something else? We call it painkiller number 1.
It's just called stuff. We're just calling it stuff. But when I tell people that, they can't even compute because their head has been stuck with because it's just like weed. If you said you smoked weed, whoa, you were a rebel. Right?
Back in the days.
Back in the day, you were a rebel. And it just shows you now that you smoke weed, it's nothing now, right?
Yep.
So it's obviously something they program into your head to make you feel like these guys were out of control on weed, right?
When we weren't, all we were eating was Fritos and fucking, hitting up Jack in the Box late at night.
Because I was late to knowing any type of drugs or anything. I didn't know anything. And I knew, everybody was smoking weed. My friends all smoked weed and shit. And then when I finally tried a little weed, I was like, "Oh, it's like nothing I've ever heard. Everything's been said.
All the propaganda was full of shit.
It's crazy how they can get that shit in your head. You got those idiots that dare to keep drugs off, and those fucking dumb cops that show up to the schools and that are in the auditorium.
Yeah, taking all the drugs from the kids off the streets and taking it home
and reselling it. Come on,
you got to put money in the cookie jar, baby.
Yeah." Yeah, but it's funny. Anytime I was I'd see those dorky fucking cops that would come in and do the assembly, I'd go, well, now I want to do that drug because I don't want to be anything like you.
I don't want to be nothing like your square pants, dude.
These teachers.
You are the epitome of everything that I don't like.
Yeah, and they always go up and try to be hip. Like they're always.
So what do you say there, fella? Yeah. Like nobody says fella anymore, and nobody hits another kid either like that.
I used to be cool.
No, you weren't.
I listened to Air Supply.
Styx is still a poster I have on my wall.
Yeah, I got a poster of Saigon Kick in my room. Winger.
Winger's right next to my Coheed and Cambria. That one's for you, buddy.
That's for you, good. And then the kids are like, "Shut up." There wasn't one kid that thought that guy was cool.
Nobody.
Why? These schools are so stupid. They really are out of it. They have no idea what kids are doing, and they're trying to teach kids, and they have no fucking clue.
Well, that's why I'm very proud of the school my kid goes to because they're very on top of everything. They're not doing this whole weird left shit.
The whole gender thing.
Nope. None of that is going through because there are a lot of veterans as dads that go to that school.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of veterans that are teaching at that school
okay.
too. And a little bit of power there.
That's probably the way to go, huh?
Dude, it definitely is because they're still saying the Pledge of Allegiance. They're still fucking praising God. They're still doing the foundations that we grew up with at least.
Yeah.
trying to work on getting a little bit more God in the school than this bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that in God we trust. Leave that there. Definitely don't shove your religion down kids' throats because everyone's got different religions and whatnot.
Definitely not.
But
at least the general.
Say the
rules.
Pledge of Allegiance. It's crazy. It's like I'm not saying the pledge. You live in America. Just try to like where you're at.
At least show some love and support for the country that
or people fought for, or that your family swam to get to, or whatever.
Oh, speaking of the family,
yeah,
I told you my dad gave me that packet of my family heritage through his dad's brother.
Okay,
he did the 23andMe back in the early '90s and shit.
Uh-oh.
Apparently,
Did you find out you're a quarter Somalian?
No, but I did find out that my family's wars goes all the way back to the Civil War. And I found out that
do we know what side of the Civil War?
The South.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
No. I'm sorry. On his side, it was the South.
Okay.
Or the North. On my mom's side,
okay.
My mom's side, it was the North and South.
North and South.
Yeah. So,
okay.
Because brothers against sisters and shit back
then. Well, I
then.
mean, look, you gotta.
But one name that fucking struck a chord in me when I was reading it, it was the cousins of my family. Guess what their last name was? Paisley.
Huh.
Remember when I was telling you I kept driving up and down fucking PCH and seeing the Paisley fucking
sign?
Yeah. And we were talking about him, and you're like, well, he's a never pussy. He never backed down from shit. And I'm like, I know, but I didn't like him. And I know you fought him. I know Ian fought him and everything. And then I really started thinking about it, and I just saw Doc Holliday in my head. Sounds like me. Nah, I know I really don't like him.
Reminds of somebody. Me. Now I really hate him.
Yeah. Exactly. So you know what I'm talking about, dude.
I bet we've passed so many family members probably throughout our life.
And that's what I'm thinking too. Like I really started looking into that. Like man, I bet you a lot of us fucking have a tie into each other one way or another, and we're just too stubborn to fucking see it.
Yeah, I mean, I bet it definitely. Drew Foster. My mother's maiden name is Foster. Who knows? You know what I mean? It's like
we got the similarities between Kennedy and Lincoln going through everybody.
Yeah,
we just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, but how do we know? It's another thing. It's like, how do they find that information? Like, how do they really? That's something I don't understand.
That's a good question, but I got some of the real proof because I got the Civil War diary from my grandfather's brother's fucking
A diary from a personal diary?
Yeah, personal diary.
From your family member that was in the war?
It was my grandfather's brother's dad.
Wow, I would love to read that.
Yeah, dude.
Is it legible? Can you read it?
It's real fancy, fucking lot cursive and shit.
Dipping that ink,
and it's.
I hope this letter finds you well.
Well, no, and it's under wartime too. So he's like these motherfuckers, he's.
I would love to read
in
that.
The shit in a.
Can I read that? Is that possible?
Yeah.
I would love to read that.
I'm telling you, I get this packet. I haven't even gotten all the way through it yet because a lot of it's typed out through the family.
What do you get through the packet?
Just photocopied pages of everything.
And what did you send in?
No, it wasn't me. It was my grandfather's brother.
Oh, okay.
That sent in for this. So what I didn't even know is that my dad's dad had another brother and 3 sisters, and the fucking family, it spreads the rest of the names that have been, introduced into our family and that I had no idea about.
Wow.
So it's Civil War. I haven't found any family ties to the World War I yet, but World War II, Vietnam, Korea, Operation fucking Desert Storm, Iraqi Freedom.
Yeah.
I mean, we got them all except for World War I, so that's kind of what I'm after right now.
Because, what's up, baby?
Hey, baby.
Because what does they, what do you need to send in? Like, they're just like, you just do a swab and they find out? How do they do that?
See, this is what I really want to know is because this was in the early 90s. So this is before all the 23andMe.com bullshit that they had back then. This is early 90s.
This is real shit.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it was funny because at the very end, I could just tell he just barely learned how to use the computer and shit because he printed out a picture of the Titanic, which I thought was funny.
Huh.
I was like, I've always been interested in that ship. That's crazy. Another one was I think it was the pyramids. You know, a lot of the stuff that I've always fucking, as soon as I look into it, I go down the rabbit hole,
Yeah.
you know, kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, well, my dad was like, yeah, I don't understand what the hell these are. And I was like, dude, it says 1991 right here. He just got this computer to where he can get all this information.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a couple of pages of bullshit, but most of it's, yeah, fucking scanned documents and then fucking typed up.
Wow. That's crazy.
That is.
See, but what's interesting too is like, from no one in my family now has kids, right? So between me and my brother and sister, no one has kids. So there's no, that's it. My family line dies with me.
Can't let it die.
So
You're gonna have to crank out one of them kids there, Jenna. Sorry.
Well, no, I bet you there's a Mexican kid in Tijuana or something.
It's all right. I probably got one in Thailand.
there's for some reason there's a Hispanic kid with blue eyes.
But his name's Ian.
Ian Sanchez. Yeah. It'd be one.
Yeah, one.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean that is a weird thing to think about. But also, is there still good because you have kids, so it's hard to think about. But are we getting at the point where the world will implode and start over? Because there are theories that we were once here with this type of technology, and we are.
No, but
I mean,
but he's actually speaking about a good one, and I'll back it up.
Fucking Terminator.
No, the coffin of King Tut. So
Yeah.
there's this emerald, right? It looks like a God damn it. Looks like a scarab, you know, but it's this they call it, what is it? Israeli yellow gem or some shit like that. Well, scientists have proven that you can't create this kind of glass without nuclear power. It's this certain type of yellow that is perfectly on this fucking coffin of King Tut, and they're like, well, how the fuck did this happen if we didn't have nuclear power? Oh, well, then they try to explain like an asteroid hit or something. They're like, where? This asteroid would have caused like a nuclear bomb. So how does he have this glass? Because this is legit this kind of glass. You need like, you know, fucking. So now I'm believing researchers saying, yeah, we sign off on this, which
I mean, I
can't even do that anymore. You know?
It's hard to see. It's like historians and everything.
They're full of shit.
It
most
sucks
of
for
them.
my brain. Well, yeah, because for one, they're just trying to keep their job. So if they're wrong about everything, they don't have a job.
Exactly.
So
I run into that all the time.
yeah, but I'm so skeptical about everything. I'm like, how do you know?
I know.
Like, how were you there?
I know.
Well, no, we read this tree that dates back. Like what?
And this guy seems like he's got a degree.
Like it's just like, how do we know? Like we're just kind of
That's why I
taking their
couldn't-
word for it.
That's why I couldn't even finish that story. I was like, yeah, that's probably bullshit.
Well, but also that's really not the greatest way to live either. I mean, it is, you know what I mean? Where it's not. It's
When you expect the worst, but kind of hope for the best.
yeah.
I think that's the
like
right
you
way
got to
live.
kind of, it's like the moon landing, right? On Rogan, he had a moon landing denier that has all the proof. He claims he wrote a book, all this shit, and I've come to a conclusion without doing all the research.
That kid was probably born after the whole thing happened too, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Well, he's not a kid; he's an old guy.
Oh,
he's like an old guy. Yeah,
all right.
yeah. But it's an interesting listen. I listened to 15 minutes and bailed. But my point is, oh shit, man, let's get out of here, brother.
Oh, yeah.
Here, down the hatch. Oh.
Went from pleasure to pain, from my true lover lane. Yeah, she's lost and so hard to find. see. I will never leave. Baby, stay with me, darling, just take my